billion-dollar idea being left on the table for most restaurant folks is not another loyalty offer. It's not another limited time offer, not another social campaign or a TV spot. It's the digital guest experience. It's one of the fastest paths to realizing double-digit digital growth because it impacts everything from ordering to loyalty participation, your CRM, personalization, convenience, frequency, average check, all of it. It's essentially a store in your footprint that provides upwards of 20% of all sales, sometimes more. And yet, it's not treated with the same intent and focus on optimization and design flow as a physical store. What a mistake. The problem is that things get really muddy the moment marketers start digging in to how to make it happen. Just like building out a space would probably be foreign to most marketing leaders, building software, which is essentially what a custom front end actually is, can be absolutely enigmatic. But why? Because now we're talking about technology and we're talking about operations. We're talking about integrations, APIs, MCPs, uptimes, errors, more. These are all words in the vocabulary that aren't always known. We're talking about full systems that affect every part of the business. So suddenly a conversation about guests develops to include conversations about platforms and how to connect to them. How do they speak to each other? Eyes glaze over, momentum stalls, and the opportunity essentially gets pushed down the road for things that have maybe more of a feeling of a guarantee or just the feeling that it's going to be easier to execute. But technology isn't the goal here. The guest experience is. Technology is simply the mechanism that makes hospitable experiences possible online. So today, I want to help my marketing friends out, and those that are just a little bit confused, but maybe not happy saying so, and just simply simplify the conversation. Here are the 3 core paths to building a fully integrated digital guest experience. And what I mean by that is an experience that integrates commerce, loyalty, CDP, CRM, all of these systems that you've bought into, have them integrated seamlessly into a singular.com. So you're never leaving www.brand.com. So there's no locations dot, no orders dot, no catering dot, franchising dot. It's all in one site. And in doing that, you see a highly convenient, beautiful experience that guests will prefer over the DoorDashes and Uber Eats, and actually come to you directly, and we all know the benefits of that. So when we talk about the digital guest experience and what a custom front end looks like, on one side, you have the traditional path, which is custom build. You have somewhere in the middle, which is I kind of call it an Accelerator Codebase, and then you have a multi-tenant platform, which is essentially like a Squarespace or a Shopify for the retail industry. Those are really your core 3 options. The mistake that most teams and team leaders make is evaluating these options based on time and money alone. While those are incredibly important factors, they're not the only factors. The better approach is evaluating them based on a number of different facets that you need to use to decide what makes sense today and tomorrow. Because every path comes with trade-offs, and every trade-off comes with a time and budget impact. So let's start with that first one, custom build. This is the path for brands that want complete control. You want a unique loyalty experience? Build it. A unique ordering flow? Build it. Want functionality that nobody else in the industry has? Build it. Nobody's telling you no, except for your budget and your timeline, of course. Nobody else is going to pay for it either. So that's coming out of your pocket, either out of your budget or the company's budget. Every enhancement, every bug fix, every integration, every new idea, anything you want to do from support to innovation is all time and money out of your bank. That's your responsibility. The beauty of a custom build is complete freedom. You can do amazing things like we built a 3D cookie cake builder for Great American Cookies. We created a donut customizer that allows you to customize every single donut in a dozen in a way that's fast and easy to use. That is because that's the beauty, that's the freedom of a full custom build. But the cost of a custom build is that freedom comes with a price, like I just said. A lot of brands love that first part. They underestimate the second. At the other end of the custom front-end spectrum is the multi-tenant platform. Now, these are a little bit harder to come by. In fact, I'm not quite sure of any off the top of my head. Now, there are some that act like they are, but they're not really. They're actually just Accelerator Codebases. And there is a difference and a reason that you should care about it. But first, let's talk about the multi-tenant platform. Think of it like living in a neighborhood. Everyone shares the roads, everyone shares the utilities, everyone benefits when the neighborhood improves. New features roll out, you're benefiting. Bug fixes that get deployed, you're benefiting. You don't have to find them again because it is a shared system. So you're sharing all innovation, you're sharing all bug fixes and system health. And what's great about that is that the platform is always evolving with new features, new functionality that become available to you the minute they're launched. And that is fantastic. But the trade-off is you lose control in a lot of ways. If you want to build a 3D cookie cake builder, the answer is not on a platform like this. So you don't get to decide what innovation comes next, although you may be able to influence it. Essentially, you are left with what you have, and that's gotta be good enough, I guess. You don't wake up one morning and decide you're going to invent some new loyalty mechanism because you had a clever idea in a strategy session. Instead, you're going to have to work with the framework provided. And for a lot of brands, that is more than enough, especially depending on how advanced that platform really is. The upside to this is speed. The downside is freedom to realize whatever you can imagine. And like I said, for many brands, it's perfectly fine. Then in the middle is the Accelerator Codebase. This is the middle ground. This is where some companies out there are positioning themselves as a platform when in reality, it is an Accelerator Codebase, meaning it's just like that custom build, but it's actually unique in that you're sort of forced into some framework elements, but you still have the freedom to build on top of it. So personally, I think this is where many restaurant brands could and should start a conversation, especially if they are above 50 units. Not because it's better, but it's a bit more realistic with how those brands are set up, with lean teams, lean budgets, but still need to make an impact. Most brands don't really feel the need to reinvent online ordering. It's just optimizing it and making it better. So the Accelerator Codebase does that. And most brands don't need to reinvent account creation. So the Accelerator Codebase delivers on that. So you're not affecting a lot of change there. Instead, you're focusing on like homepage, marketing pages, and some of the other more important pages. But you do need a head start, and the Accelerator Codebase gives you. Now, the issue with that Codebase is essentially the opposite of the Xerox effect. When you Xerox something over and over again, it gets muddy. The opposite effect is true in that the newest, latest, and greatest build is just that, latest and greatest. But the longer it sits out there, the clunkier it gets. The bugs that were smashed for the new build, you're not receiving those. You still need to take care of that. So where it's great is the Accelerator gives you a proven foundation while still allowing you to build, evolve, and innovate over time. And you skip a lot of that expensive groundwork without handcuffing your future. And so this is often the balance between speed and flexibility that growing brands are absolutely looking for. So that leaves us with, how do you decide? I think you should start by answering 4 questions. Who's going to own it? Not just the project, but the system too, and the maintenance of it. Who's managing it after launch? Who's coordinating with the tech partners? Who's maintaining content? Who's responsible for its success a year from now, 2 years from now? All those questions are underneath the first one, because too many brands focus entirely on launch day and almost none on what comes after. And the fact is, you're going to need human power and you're going to need budget to run any of these systems. The second major question is, who's paying for it? And I don't mean the build, I mean the future. Who's paying for maintenance? Who's paying for innovation? Who's paying when the business changes and the platform needs to change with it? Or new tech platforms are brought in and it has to be addressed, because again, if there's a new tech platform, you have to build the connectivity to it. Make sure it's working well, test it, launch it. And that all is coming out of a budget. So who is going to pay for that budget moving forward? The third is, when does it actually need to launch? And don't say ASAP. ASAP is not a timeline. It's what people say when they haven't established priorities. A custom solution may take close to a year. An accelerator, somewhere in the middle, and a multi-tenant platform can move much faster. The right answer depends on the business need, not impatience. So finally, the fourth question here is, what are you actually trying to innovate? Not necessarily today, but like 3 years from now, as you grow, 5 years from now. What are you hoping this experience can become? Because if your future depends on capabilities that don't exist today, your options start narrowing pretty quickly. In the end, the best path isn't the fastest one. It's not the cheapest one. It isn't even the most powerful one. It's the one whose trade-offs align with your reality today and what that reality is projected to be in the next 3 to 5 years. Because every restaurant brand eventually gets the digital experience it commits to. And that's not necessarily the one it dreams about. And the brands that get this right aren't winning because of technology. They're winning because they made deliberate decisions about ownership, investment, and innovation before they even selected the platform pathway. And as a result, they're able to craft digital guest experiences that are high in conversion rate, high in AOVs, and therefore high in sales lift. Again, double-digit sales lift. This is the $1 million idea, and understanding how to decide what the right path is critical. Because if you listen to everyone else in the industry, you're losing out and you're missing the main points of your brand's reality, your reality in it, with time, budget, human power, and everything else that goes along with that. Hopefully this was helpful. As always, please like, subscribe, give us 5 stars. If you would, could you add some comments? That would be fantastic. That really helps lift this to the forefront. It really helps us out and keeps this thing going. Until next time, cheers.